I'm Johnny Scoville, and this is Chase the Heat. You know what we're going to do today? I'm on my Yazul S1M Plus. The days are running out to get one of these. If you use promo code Johnny, you save $100 and buy it for $399 for real. Anyway, here's what we're doing. I'm doing 20 minutes in the hills in Switzerland. Hey, you know what? Hold on. That's silly. Let's do that different. Hang on a minute. We're going to go to Switzerland, but what we're going to do is we're going to bike for 30 minutes. Okay? We're going to bike for 30 minutes. And we're going to talk about that video I made today. 30 minutes. And there we go. All right. So, this video is brought to you in part by Yazul. But more importantly, ES. Isn't it great the way the light shines on that? ES Power Drink. I'm telling you, thank you, my man Chris. It's the best energy drink. It's an amazing drink. Listen to the ingredients. Natural fruit flavor, vitamin C, purified water, Trinidad, Moruga, scorpion. Decaf, peppermint tea, stevia leaf extract. I'm so excited about it. Let me do this. Tilt this up just a little bit. There we go. It's a little bit better. So, we're going to talk a little bit about this video because I have already gotten emails and nasty comments saying why don't I'm picking on them. I have to tell you something. Had they come out and said, hey, we made a mistake, listen, we're going to fix it, I'd be picking on them. This should be picking on them. But they haven't. The response was, hey man, 99.999246 or whatever he said. Don't want it that hot. It's really funny, I said this. Be wary of people who don't like the truth coming out. It should concern you. Boy, it's so pretty. You should see these mountains. I'm on a wicked hill. You know, in a lot of ways I held back in that video. You know, think about it from this point of view. He said it's 2.4 billion. It ended up being 61,000. That is 2.7% of how hot it's supposed to be. So I think the sauce is worth 75 cents. I bought 2 bottles of it for the purpose of these tests. I feel like I got screwed. See, the way they've handled it makes it look like it's just a big middle finger to the chili community. You built me, you made me, but here's the middle finger. I'm not even going to address it. And when I address it, it's just like I did not have sex with that woman. Did not have sexual relations with that woman. That's the same thing. Isn't that the feel you get? Isn't that the feel you get when you hear him say, we tested it 3 times, 1.5 million. All this would be fine if he wasn't. Listen, if you had any clue the amount of bottles they're selling, the amount of the money they're making, do yourselves a favor, go to the videos, the one I uploaded this morning, okay, and the one I uploaded the first time. Read the comments. You're going to see some of the people that just have this blind allegiance to them. They're going to say that I'm a jerk and I'm just causing problems and it's hate. But if you look at how many people say, yeah, man, spent $75 to get to my country. We were so disappointed. Read the comments. This is what we call, listen, this is what we call a PR problem. Public relations problem. You know, when a superstar or a celebrity does something wrong, a lot of times they have a publicist. It helps kind of be their liaison between the press and them to make sure the right message is being uttered. They need a PR crew because they're hemorrhaging respect. One comment I saw today said, based on these reviews, I'm pulling their products out of 6 of my stores. Let's go there, you can read it. So, how many bottles do you think they sold? I bet you they sold a lot. It's a lot of unhappy people, though. But the thing is, a lot of people are coming after me. All I did was tell the truth. You know, I don't have a credibility problem. Ed has famously, I wonder if I should even talk about this. You know, Ed's pretty famously talked about the fact that he's a non-smoker. I've seen those posts a number of times. But then, right before I got on Facebook, I see a picture of Ed at the Tennessee Festival, Chili Festival, smoking a cigarette. Yeah. What we all is, listen, we're human beings and we have brains and we all look at things differently, but we all have an operating assumption, a working assumption of how the world works. Do you know what I mean? And it's really just kind of being in the know and connecting the dots. I'm going to talk about this until I start hearing things that help it makes sense to me. How about that? But I need things to make sense to me. So there are so many people, like if you look at the number of people that said, I had the same experience, they just don't have a YouTube channel. You know, I'd be trying to make it right to them. Because there are literally so many that said, I bought it because it was hot. I bought it because it had Pepper X in it. So, the way I think and the way I connect the dots, here's what happens to me. Let's say that we're going to do 2 different scenarios. One scenario is where there's no one scenario is where there's no last dab experience sauce, okay? So for scenario 1, and this is only going to be a 30-minute ride, but scenario 1, and I'm explaining to you, these are the dots that I follow to arrive at the conclusion I've arrived at, okay? So the first dot, Ed comes out, Ed for years and years, Ed talks about, you know, posts about, really excited the chili world. Pepper X, you know. They excited the chili world because See, when they first began talking about it, they were saying it was 3.4 million. That's what they said. It's all still on the internet. Anyway, but for years and years and years, he sort of teased the chili community thinking they were going to get a chance to grow it. You know what I mean? And they didn't really, you know. So then he releases the pepper. Now, he releases it. He immediately says he has no plans to ever sell the seeds. A couple dots to connect. First, he doesn't want anybody growing it. He doesn't want anybody growing it. Nobody's ever going to grow it. Then he said he's not going to sell the powder either. So, there's another dot. Now it's a mustard pod. I'd be a lot less hesitant, and I'd have a lot less suspicion if he said that Pepper X was a chocolate pod or a red pod. But mustard pods that aren't as hot as chocolate pods or red pods of the same pepper strain. It's just the way it is. So there'd never really been a mustard pod that tested over 1 million. So he's gonna release a pepper that's not only over 1 million, it's 1 million Scoville and then some over the previous record, which was 1.5 million. Now, if we just stop there, see, I have other dots that I also connect. For years, we've been making products using Carolina Reaper powder. Now, we have bought Carolina Reaper powder from all over the country, the world even, different producers. We test everything that we sell or that we buy so that we know how much of the product we need to try to make sure our products stay consistent. Do you know, now pepper, or how is the Carolina Reaper? If I had everybody stop right here and type in, everybody would say 1.5 million. Do you know that I have never seen Carolina Reaper powder in 7 years test higher than 770,000? I swear to God. I'm drinking some ES Power Drink. I'm so excited. Wow. Super citrusy and with a legit bite. That actually seemed to have a little bit more of a bite than the last one. Delicious. So, because the Guinness book says that the Reaper is 1.5 million, but we've tested it for years. We never got one higher than 770. Now, ghost pepper is 900. And when we test ghost pepper powder, it comes back 900. But when we test Reaper, we've never had one test higher than 770. 770,000. I swear I'm telling you the truth. So you connect those dots, and then you connect the dots of a pepper that he's never going to let grow and he'll never release the powder. The only way you can taste the heat of Pepper X powder, of Pepper X the pepper, is by buying it in a sauce. So there's the first scenario, but let's say there's no sauce. There's the first scenario. So here's what happens with me. When I connect those dots, that pepper isn't real to me. It doesn't exist. There's no such thing as a mustard pod. That's 2.69 million. I just don't believe that. I'm not calling Ed a liar. I'm not calling Puckerbutt a liar. I'm saying I don't trust the lab numbers. And nobody that eats peppers does. Nobody. The only people that are blindly jumping all over this probably have never eaten a Reaper either. But boy, they'll fight for it. So I don't believe that Pepper X exists. At least, no, I mean, listen, here, it's a pepper. But it's certainly not 2.69 million. So, he will never release that, because if he did, people would grow it. If they grow it, they'd test it. Now, so, I'm kind of inclined to say that I just really don't believe Pepper X exists, right? I wouldn't say for sure yet, but I'm kind of inclined to with scenario 1. But now we're going to add scenario 2. They come out with the last dab experience. Pepper X. Vinegar. Pepper X powder. Pepper X distillate. 4 ingredients. And it says on the bottle that 91% is Pepper X, which is, we know, 2.69. Ed said it is 2.4. Anyway, so I get it tested, not just once. The first lab said it was 61,019, which is 2.7% essentially. Excuse me, of how hot it's supposed to be. Or in other words, it's 97% shy. How about that? Missed its mark by 97%. Think of it in those terms. Second lab came back 60,300. So if that sauce is made with the hottest pepper, and it's 91%, but he won't let anybody grow that pepper or test the powder, and the sauce that supposedly is 91% of it comes back 60,000. What's your operating assumption about Pepper X? It's a pepper. It doesn't exist. Another thing that I didn't address in the video, which I did in the first video, but I didn't in the second, is that 91% of the sauce, 4.5 ounces of the 5 ounces, is Pepper X, which is a mustard or green pod, people. The sauce is red. It's almost like, you know, it's like Bizarro World. That's okay. Yet that the guy that's talking about it's the bad guy. I've never lied to you guys. So the whole thing is just there's a lot of heat coming my way. Every single time someone has a beef, I'll direct you back to the video I made this morning, because it covers everything. It doesn't matter what people say, your math is wrong, Johnny. There's a video of Ed saying it's 2.4. Shut up about my math. You're calculating wrong. There's a video of him saying it's 2.4. Stop talking about my math. And what it is, it's almost like, I want to say, have you ever eaten a Reaper? If you ate a Reaper, could you talk about it? If you ate a Reaper, could you describe what it tastes like? Like that, you know. Honestly, like I really don't know any true chili heads who believe it. I really don't. If it was a chocolate pod that he said Pepper X was a chocolate pod, I swear to you, I'd be so on. I'd be like, hey, maybe. But mustard, 1 million over the oldest, hottest. I'm sorry, I know it sounds bad, but I'm just being honest with you. Here's the thing. It's not like I'm saying the Holocaust didn't happen. This is an opinion. If we get to a place where I'm not allowed to have an opinion, boy, if you're at a place where you don't think I have a right to have my opinion, I would urge you to stop watching my channel. If you already have subscribed, unsubscribe. For real, if you don't think I'm allowed to have my opinion, I don't want people like that following me. I didn't get into this to get subs or to get rich or famous. Ironically, all those things are sort of, not all of them, I'm not rich, but boy, all of it was by accident. All my chips are in the middle. I don't lie to you about anything. That sauce just isn't hot. The labs proved it. It's made with supposedly the hottest pepper. I'm going to finish with this story. Told it a couple times. This is a scene that never made it into season 1. I don't know if I shouldn't even tell this. Yeah, what's going to happen? They didn't put it in season 1 because I think they were worried about legal issues. But day 1 of Dallas Zest Fest, I'm mic'd up. And I was walking around, and if you're sitting down, listen, if I'm sitting down doing a interview, well, I'm sitting in a seat, I'm looking at the camera, and I know I'm doing an interview. I know the camera's on me. But when you have a camera on you and you're hot mic'd and it's on your belt and the mic is under here and the cameras walk away from you, you forget you're on camera. You know what I mean? So I was walking around in the Dallas Zest Fest, and as God is my witness, I'm telling you a true story. I walked by the Pucker Butt booth. I didn't even know it was the Pucker Butt booth because I was walking, looking the other direction. And the guy said, "Hey, Johnny." And it was a person I had never seen before. It was him and I believe 2 women behind the counter. And I said, "Hey, how you doing?" He goes, "Hey, what do you want to try?" And I said, "You know, when you come to these shows, you always have a product you're trying to sell. So how about, what do you want me to try?" He's like, "Well, that's cool." He goes, "How about you try this? It's made with the world's hottest Carolina Reaper, the world's hottest pepper." Now, there were 3 cameras on me at the time, but I put my hand on the table and I leaned forward so that he would know I was going to whisper. And he picked up on that cue and he leaned forward too, because I didn't want to say this really loud. And I said, "Why do you keep doing that?" I said, "Stop. It's not the hottest pepper. You know it. I know it. Ed knows it. And every real chili head in this building, they know it too. Stop saying that." And he said, "What gives you the right to say that?" I said, "Because I've eaten more peppers than anybody you know." It's a good starting point. I said, I don't have a dog in the fight, you know? And he said, the Guinness book says it's the hottest. And I said, "Guinness is a book. It doesn't eat peppers. It's a marketing company. That's all." So he goes, "Well, why don't you eat this? This was made with our new one, Pepper X. It's even hotter." And I looked at him and I just said, "Hey, you know what?" I said, "Back home in my garage, I got a car that'll go 0 to 60 faster than a Tesla. Beat it in a quarter mile. Nobody's ever seen it. Nobody's ever driven it, but I got it, trust me." I winked at him. He goes, "Why don't you come to the farm and eat one?" Now you gotta remember, I didn't know who he was, right? So I said, "Do you have the authority to offer me that?" And he says, "I do." I said, "Will you shake on it?" This is all on video. He said, "Sure." So I put my hand out and I shook his hand and I walked away. I got 10 feet away, I looked over my shoulder and all 3 of them were doing this. Texting Met crazy. It turns out that guy was their CEO. Now, do you think I ever got the invite to come eat that pepper? I'm about to pass somebody who's pushing his bike. No, I didn't eat that pepper because for the same reason that I'm not going to get invited on Hot Ones. Actually, I might get invited on Hot Ones. But really what they're looking for is somebody to fall down and go, "Oh my God." I'm not that guy. I'm not a lay down. I'm not a yes man. So when I shook his hand, to be really honest, I had no expectation of ever going out to the farm and eating one of the Pepper X. Anyhow, I've got 6 minutes left. We're just going to wrap it up. A little more of this amazing ES Power drink. There's going to be a link in the description box. This is the official drink of Chase the Heat. It's got Trinidad Maruga Scorpion, best energy workout drink I've ever had. Oh my gosh. Every workout. So the bottom line is, if anything, in that video, I did that whole video riding the brakes. That's the truth. There's so many things I didn't say. I'm not looking to make it a war, but you know what? I do want the truth to come out. And how they're handling it, like I said, they really probably could benefit from a PR firm. Because they've got a lot of unhappy people right now. So many. Like if they had to hire somebody to delete the unhappy comments on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, on my account, First We Feast, all the others, that'd be a full-time job for 5 people. There's a lot of very unhappy people. It just is. It turns out that more than 99.999999246 people want a mild sauce. That's okay if you sell them a mild sauce. But if you bill it as a burner, it needs to be a burner. That's all I'm saying. So I got another 5 minutes before I'm done riding. All right. So, I got thick skin, been doing this YouTube thing for 8 years. I got thick skin. Here's what I would tell you, and this is a good thing to remember always, whether it's the pepper community we're talking about, or whether it's politics on a local level, city, you know, be really cautious and wary of people who try to suppress the truth. For real, those are people that are dodgy and sketchy, and they have an agenda. It usually always revolves around the dollar bill or power, but that's it. But be really, really wary and sketchy of people who get angry about the truth or anybody who's trying to suppress it. For real, that should scare the willies out of you, because it scares me. All right, so we have another 3 minutes and 27 seconds. And then I am going to jump in the pool. But the things that I've done wrong in my past, I've got in front of them. I've owned them. You know, I have. The videos are here. I'm a broken, former drug-abusing alcoholic. Done everything wrong you could possibly imagine. But I've done everything I can to straighten my life out. And what I've learned is it's really easy to tell the truth. I've gotten in shape mentally, spiritually, and physically. Living my best life. Living my best life. Hate isn't a part of that. There is no hate going on with anybody. It's the truth. There's always going to be that moron that's trying to push hate and push a fake narrative or a rumor. Don't believe it. If you didn't hear from me, it didn't happen. But it's funny, you just remember that as you read comments and you see somebody leaving a crazy comment, bashing me for telling the truth, look at their name. When I played high school football or basketball or any other sport, if you got hit really hard, people would yell from the crowd, get his number. In other words, you saw who ran you down. I got your number. It means I'll be playing with you all day. I'm going to get you for that. And when you see somebody who says something hateful about the truth being told, you got their number. Just remember who they are. They're sketchy, dodgy people that I don't want to have anything to do with. Now, This video was just to address some of the backlash that's already happened. I've already got more emails than you can check a stick at. Now, to the rest of you, which is really the vast majority of you, I love you all. You guys are amazing. You make this channel worth doing. You're the reason I'm doing it. It's your channel. I'm just a driver. Oh, it's this fantastic chalet I'm biking up to, and I only have 52 seconds. I think I'm gonna get to it. I gotta show you this. Beautiful chalet at the top of this peak in Switzerland. All right, that's it. All right, so I'm done. I didn't even look at the mileage, you guys, because this wasn't about mileage. This was just about talking to you guys. Remember what I said. If you read something, there's no hate in my heart for anybody. That's a fact. And if there was going to be hate in my heart for somebody, hang on one second. You guys? Hey? Phil in here. If I was going to have a hate in my heart, listen, there are plenty of people that are more deserving. And there's no reason to have hate in my heart for anybody I talk about. So there's no truth to that whatsoever. So when you hear that, do me a favor, be above it. And don't listen to that garbage because there's no truth to it. All right, so what's the moral of the story today? There's no hate. The motivation is just to get the truth out for a lot of people who can't speak it. And if you have hate, your hate's thicker than my skin is thicker than your hate. I promise you that. You don't make it to my radar. Now, to all those on the bus, ooh, I love you guys. You're amazing. In the description box, you're going to see a link for all the normal stuff, but you're definitely going to see a link for ES Power Drink. It's amazing. Be a free thinker. Be a critical thinker. Don't ever let somebody decide how you should think. Do your own homework and figure it out. But don't be sheeple. So let's not be that way. All right, it's in the description box, all the normal stuff. My son there, my brother there, challenges there. Brand new stuff for all brand new chili heads. Thanks for riding with me. I'm Johnny Scoville. This was Chase the Heat.